So you want to get good at Japanese and you know you just got to immerse more. But then life gets in the way. Work, school, family, chores. So you tell yourself, I'll just do it when I have more time. I used to say the exact same thing. It's the easiest excuse in the world. But what if the problem isn't your schedule? Maybe you're just looking at your time all wrong. You see, you don't need to make extra time. You just need to see the time that you're already using differently. Stop thinking of immersion as a separate activity and start layering it directly onto what you're already doing. And real quick, when I say immersion, I don't mean living your entire life in Japanese, clocking 12 plus hours a day getting input. That's great if you can do it, but that's not what immersion actually means. Immersion just means surrounding yourself with the language, even a little bit every day. It could be 30 minutes on your commute, or reading a few pages of manga before bed, or even just having Japanese audio on while you cook dinner. It's about consistent contact with the language and not necessarily a complete lifestyle takeover. And I know this works from experience. Look, I only really started immersing seriously a few years ago, and that was right after my daughter was born. I was a new parent, I was working full time, so if I can find sneaky ways to fit this into my schedule, surely you can too. Let me show you how. Let's start simple. Your daily commute. Say you're driving 20 minutes each way, 5 days a week. That's 40 minutes a day or 3.3 hours a week and roughly 160 hours a year, just from your commute. That's the same amount of time as watching the first 500 episodes of One Piece. Now imagine throwing on a podcast while you drive to work or watching your favorite anime on the bus during your commute. If you do that consistently every single day, you're essentially getting hundreds of hours of input a year from something you had to do anyway, just from your commute alone. Now imagine applying that same idea to other parts of your day. You've seen how one small habit can help, so let's expand on that. Start with the morning. While you're making breakfast or getting ready, just listen to something in Japanese. Anything's fine. On your lunch break, you can read a few pages of manga, watch something in Japanese on YouTube, and if you hit the gym, you can switch your music to a Japanese playlist or audiobook, for example. Even everyday tasks at home work great too, like cooking, cleaning, folding laundry, like whatever it is, they're all great opportunities for more listening practice. Even walking the dog or running errands like shopping become a great chance to immerse. Just put on some headphones, choose your Japanese audio, and carry on. When you add up all these moments, you can easily add hours of Japanese exposure to your day. Keep that up over a year, and you're looking at hundreds, if not thousands of hours without even finding extra time in your schedule. And of course, absolutely, you do not need to fill every single moment of your day with Japanese. Like realistically, some of these things like your job or hangouts with friends and precious family time just won't work with it. But if you take a good look at your schedule, you'll likely find a few spots where it just fits naturally. And it doesn't have to be a lot of time each day. What matters most is just doing it consistently. A little bit of practice every single day is far more effective for long-term memory and habit formation than sporadic cram sessions a couple times a week. Just remember though, none of this is meant to replace your active immersion sessions. This strategy is about maximizing your passive exposure time, allowing your brain to naturally pick up patterns, pronunciation, and rhythm when you're too busy to give the language your full attention. All right, let's talk about a strategy that takes us even further, filling the little cracks in your day with Japanese. I'm talking about those tiny in-between moments that we usually waste, like waiting for your coffee to brew in the morning or for your meal to heat up in the microwave. These moments might seem small, but they really add up over time. Think about it this way. Even the busiest people can easily spend hours a day on their phones. And most of that time isn't even intentional. It's just mindless scrolling while waiting for something. Those little moments are exactly what we're talking about here, and we're going to turn them into micro immersion sessions. The goal here is to make it so easy you don't even have to think about it. You don't need a complicated system, you just need to make Japanese the easiest option in those moments. One simple trick I started doing is leaving Japanese material lying around the home in every room. Like everywhere. Books on the coffee table, magazines on the kitchen counter, manga on my work desk, even in the bathroom. Yes, the bathroom. You see, a bookshelf is a decision. A book on the coffee table is an invitation. If it's right in front of you, you're more likely to pick it up, even if it's just for a minute or two. Start noticing those idle moments. Instead of automatically grabbing your phone to scroll, use that time for a couple pages of manga. Doing this even a few times a day makes a huge difference over time. You're essentially teaching your brain to reach for Japanese instinctively whenever there's a spare moment. And every time you do, you're building a new habit and adding to your overall immersion time. And if you do find yourself reaching for your phone anyway, make it work for you. Follow a bunch of Japanese social media accounts or even just switch your phone's language to Japanese altogether. That way, even your doom scrolling brain rot sessions become productive Japanese exposure time without any extra effort. Now that I think of it, most of my devices are in Japanese, like my game consoles, my smart TV, even my car's navigation system speaks to me in Japanese. And this ensures that I'm getting at least some exposure to the language every single day without even trying. All right, one last thing before we wrap up here. The goal isn't to make Japanese your entire life overnight. Actually, I strongly advise against that. Let it slowly become a part of it over time. It's not about finding a big chunk of time in your busy day. It's about choosing the type of immersion that fits the moment. If you're having a super busy, totally slammed day, use passive immersion where it makes sense. And if you happen to find a few quick minutes here and there, like waiting for the kettle to boil, that's your chance for a micro immersion session. Even waiting in line at the grocery store is a great chance to knock out some Maki reps, for example. And when you do actually have time to block out, that's when you want to commit to active, focused study time. So basically, you don't need more time for Japanese, you just need to start seeing your existing time differently. If you're just starting out with immersion, ease into it slowly. Don't go trying to fit the entire language into every single area of your life all at once. You'll just burn yourself out that way. Build small, consistent habits so your brain can get used to it first. Then, let it grow naturally. And as your listening gets stronger, you can gradually start adding more Japanese to your day. And over time, Japanese exposure just becomes your default, like something you do without even thinking about it. And that is how you're going to stick with it for years and not just weeks. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and let me know, what is your best trick for fitting Japanese into a busy schedule? Drop your immersion hacks in the comments below. Also, if you enjoy my content and you want to support the channel directly, consider becoming a member. I put a lot of work in these videos, so it would be greatly appreciated. Thanks again, and as always, I will see you in the next one.